Barrister, let me come to you. Offices burnt, venue burnt, chairs, canopies, vehicles destroyed, journalists attacked by hoodlums, you know, where at an event that was meant to inaugurate the State Executive Committee members of the African Democratic Congress in Ekiti, that's in Ekiti State. ADC happens to be one of the opposition parties that is springing up, you know, ahead of the 2027 general elections. Barrister, what is happening to our democracy?
We are really in trouble. You can see now that the monster we created is now devouring everything in sight. We called for this. We did it.
How, Barrister? When
Yes.
you said the monster we created, how did you
Look,
do it?
when this thing started, we didn't take it serious. And I have always told you that this thing, it always, when a fire wants to start, it starts with a spark, small spark. Before you know it, before you know what is going on, it becomes a conflagration. In 1933, when Hitler wanted to become who he was, the first thing he did was to burn down the German parliament because they wanted to pass a vote of no confidence on him. He got the hint and he set the place on fire and arrested everybody who was against him. And so the Nazi Germany was born, and of course the rest is history. Look, if Nigerians don't come together and stop this thing that the opposition are facing now, it will become a problem we can no longer control. Seriously.
Okay.
Because from all indication, you can see problem all over. I just call it a problem to be very mild. And behind the scene, somebody is pulling the strings. Why is it that whenever APC are doing something very peacefully,
ADC.
APC, whenever they are doing something very peacefully, nobody disturbs them, they will do their thing, do their meeting, do whatever, and go away. Nobody talks, don't disturb them, nothing. But when opposition, just to have a meeting, you will see problem.
Okay.
Unknown people will come and disrupt them. Unknown people.
All right, Barrister, thank you for your insight on that. Now, let's come to you, Ezike.
Yeah.
You know, this thing is more like developing into a pattern. We saw one happen in Alemosho here in Lagos, you know, when Badebo wanted to, you know, get into ADC and all of that. It was disrupted. APC was accused.
Okay.
Investigations were called, you know, investigate this issue. We saw it happen somewhere in the north when ADC was holding a meeting and it was disrupted. I think somewhere in Partisan State it happened. Now we see this one again in Ekiti. It's becoming a pattern. In all of this, investigations are called. And at no point have we been told, look, these are the perpetrators. Who do you think, do you have an idea? Is there a possibility that a particular party could be behind all of this?
Okay. First, I want us to understand that Nigeria is a country that is run by criminals and for criminals.
I don't understand.
Now let me explain. Okay. Now, before now, in the last election, we had a president that went to London and made a statement that I have here. He told his supporters, political power is not going to be served in a restaurant. It's not going to be served a la carte. It is what we are doing. It is being determined. It is being determined. We do it at all costs. Fight for it, grab it, run with it.
All right, Mr. Ezike, yes, you have a right to your opinion, but please, we would like for you to take back the statement that this country is run by criminals and for criminals. Please take that back. That's not accurate.
Why I would not...
Please, VOP would like to dissociate itself from that statement. That's not the position of VOP.
All right.
Because the country is not run by, anyways.
So
you may go
ahead.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the blueprint that the president have already laid. And we've seen it happen over time, and it's still happening. The election that we had in Kogi State, we had more gunshots than ballot boxes. So it's something that is not going to end now. It's something that will continue. We voting in Bola Ahmed Tinubu into power.
I'm sorry, the election that we had in Kogi State.
Yes, last election.
Last election.
Yeah, we had more of gunshot than ballot boxes.
A woman died.
A woman even died in her house, not even in the polling unit. She was burnt in her house. So it's a blueprint.
The current president wasn't in office then.
He wasn't in office, but I'm telling you that this statement is what ushered in this sort of violence. And him coming into power have kind of legalized that statement. You know, when this thing happened, the authorities were called and say, let us investigate this, let us do this, let us do that. Up to date, nothing was done. So him coming into office is more about legalizing this sort of practice.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ezike. Let's go to Benin, where we have Frank Ehioshan. Frank, good morning to you. Good to have you join the conversation this morning. Now, could it be, is there a possibility that opposition parties, in this case, the ADC, wants to make the ruling party look bad by probably destroying its own properties and blaming it on the ruling party? I mean, is that a possibility? This is politics that we're talking about. Is that a possibility?
In my opinion, is a tertiary issue, not even primary. The primary issue is the fact that there is the prevalence of insecurity, which is a reflection of the failure of states. Because where there is insecurity, it showcases the fact that government is not performing a primary function. So whoever exploits it, unfortunately, could do it to his own benefit. A fundamental must be established. A failing state is not to the benefit of the state or the government that presides over the state, unfortunately. So if an administration tends to exploit it, and like what you opined just now, the possibility of the party in question, in this case ADC or any other party, exploiting this to make the government look bad, that they could exploit it or find a way to exploit it is the fact that the system primarily is dysfunctional. So that's why I said it's not even, it's a tertiary issue, because the primary issue that gave room to that is the fact that the system is not working. On a normal day, if there's an attack somewhere in a public property, even if it's a private property, in a functional nation state, a call is made within minutes. Within minutes, there should be response with reference to security intervention. But because Nigeria is, unfortunately, I say with all sense of certainty, a seemingly failed state, whether it is the government that sponsored people or its opposition that sponsored it, it's bent on the fact that there's already a system that is dysfunctional that anybody could exploit because anything can happen. But I think from the stories in the papers, I doubt if the ADC will resort to it, because to what end? To attempt to hurt their party members, like the National Police Secretary affirmed in Kaduna, the one in Kebbi, the one in the other states. To what end? For me, it's sheer folly. Because if they did that, it's waste of resources. Because there is already less of insecurity across the country. So they don't need to add to it. That's already a tag, government of the day. It's not just the government of the day. It has been a tag on government from the inception of this fourth republic. So anybody who is in opposition will be stupid to want to toe that line to make the government look bad, when the government already has that image upon itself without any effort by any individual, because the system already toes that line. That's why I said I don't think that it's the opposition that did it. That's not to exclude the possibility. But if that happens, or if that were the case, it is equally a case of the high authority to attempt to resort to such. In finality, everything is a reflection of the state of the nation. That is the truth. Where insecurity, which is supposed to be the primary purpose of government, coterminous with the welfare of the people, is now not a priority, not even at the basic level, because of the prevalence of insecurity that we see everywhere.
Let's get you join this conversation, Mr. Chika. What do you have to say about this? Is it that all fingers are pointing to the APC, that's the ruling party? Is it that the ruling party is kind of G-through over the mobilization of political bigwigs that have joined the ADC at this point in time? Recall that Gino Melai said something to the governor of Kogi State nobody has monopoly of violence. If an attack again is being carried out to the people or the ADC as a party, that they are going to retaliate. It's not the first time we're getting something like this. Some time ago, it happened in Ekiti State. In Lagos here too, when the Vivo guy wanted to move over to ADC, you know, that particular day, we learned that the venue also, there were distortion. And later, the ruling All Progressive Congress used that video for their own political rally. Help us actually walk around this. What does this really portend for Nigeria's democratic system?
For me? Is it for me?
If you can hear me, Mr. Chikamoba, the question is for you.
All right. All right. Thank you. You know, APC can do anything. APC is capable of anything. They are very desperate and they don't hide it. So I doubt if a political party could frustrate its own occasion, its own rally, or its own activity, you know, just to pass a message that the ruling party is after it. I doubt. APC is very violent, and members of the opposition should expect more violent outings as the 2027 elections draw closer. So APC is preparing for both violence, for both rigging, for everything malicious.
All right.
So
all right, Chika,
I have this belief. I have this belief that APC carried it out.
Okay.
And more
okay, Chika, that's your opinion, because as we speak, investigations are still ongoing, you know. But let me tell you something.
Go ahead. So I was APC State Publicity Secretary in Ebonyi State for 3 good years. So I am speaking as a former State Publicity Secretary of APC. I know what that party is capable of.
Okay, beautiful.
I am not speaking as someone who is just...
all right, Chika, I'd like to... it's getting quite interesting. Why did you leave the APC, if you don't mind? Permit me to put you on the spot.
Yes, because when I realized that the party was... or the party is not democratic, the party represents everything malignant, then I had to pull out. I resigned. Okay. I had 1 year to complete my first tenure, but I resigned. The party does not represent the interest of majority of Nigerians. Okay. So the party is very bad.
Right. And do you belong to any political party at the moment?
Well, there is none. There is none for now.
Know, there's a reason why I asked this question. But before I get into that question, I would like for us to, now with all of these things, the pattern that we are seeing, you know, building up, does it look like if it is actually eventually pinned down on the APC, the ruling party, as the one, the mastermind, you know, behind all of these things, does it look like we are making a descent to a dictatorship in Nigeria?
Yes. APC and dictatorship are like twins. You see it? So in Ekiti State, we all know that APC is the dominant political party there. PDP is almost dead in Ekiti. So no any other political party has that good standing in Ekiti other than APC. So I believe that ADC could not have destroyed its own rally. Okay. So it is APC that did it. I am telling you that it is APC. And at the end, you will realize that it is APC. Okay, beautiful. APC did it.
Beautiful. Investigations are ongoing. We'll find out at the end of the day. If the investigations are actually released at the end of the day. Now, you are in Anambra. I would like for you to help us understand what is the pulse, you know, of society. The other day, Governor cried out. He said, look, I hear that you people have written results, 13 local government areas. Is there a possibility that this could happen? Coming from a background where you understand the politics of a certain political party, is there a possibility it could happen?
It can happen because, you know, APC believes in premeditated results. So there is possibility that they tried to, you know, print result sheets ahead of the election. But you know, Anambra is primarily an Apga state. Okay. I don't belong to any of those parties. So I am just speaking as somebody who is, you know, I watch what's happening. So Apga is on ground in Anambra State. If another party should wrestle APGA out of seat, it is not APC. It is not APC. So the possibility that APC had prepared, to rig the election of Anambra is there, but APGA will not allow them to do that because you only rig where you have voted. So there is, I doubt, everything can happen in politics or in election.
Okay,
but I'm very sure.
All right, talking about
APC does not have any stake in Anambra State.
Since you're talking about political violence, with what is going on, do you expect, that anything alright could happen in Anambra State on the election?
Well, yes, it will happen, but it will be minimal because Anambra is exposed. It will happen. There will be political violence, but it is not going to be as high as it is found elsewhere. So we are expecting that, and when it will happen, it will come from the angle of APC. Yes, because going by their utterances, then you can see a party, you can see members of a party that are hell-bent on manipulating the outcome of the election. So, but like I told you earlier, I am not a member of any of those political parties, but I can tell you, as someone who has been in Anambra for 24 good years, I can tell you that APGA is on ground in Anambra State, and it will take magic. It will take magic. In fact, I've not even seen the magic that will happen, to oust APGA from seat in the coming November 8th governorship election in Anambra State. It is quite difficult.
All right,
it's quite even rigging cannot do it. Even rigging.
Thank you so much.
Soludo is not cheap.
Thank you, Mr. Chukwuka, for your submission.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back to the studio. Barrister Darlington, earlier you were saying that until we stop this, more like a clarion call to Nigerians to stop this. How do you think this actually can be achieved? I mean, stopping the political toggery. The other time it was a Canadian court that came up to say that the two big political parties we have in Nigeria are a terrorist organization. People are denying that, or yet to actually exonerate ourselves from such. How are we going to, stop all the back and forth and make sure we have a free, fair, credible election in Nigeria without this issue of, toggery and all that?
Now that it is obvious to all Nigerians that APC doesn't mean well for Nigeria, what I'm suggesting is that we should all come out and protest, not one person or two persons. Let them jail all of us. Let us see how it will pan out. Whether any of them, whether the international community will be clapping for them. If the opposition doesn't do mass protests all over Nigeria, let them come out and denounce this evil. Because that is where it is going. And when this thing succeeds, all of us will be in trouble. Look, the best time to pursue a black sheep is in the daytime. Oh. When it is nightfall, you will not see it. Oh. Because how come all of a sudden we don't even know where we are, whether we are in a democracy or whatever? We don't know, because the judiciary has been captured, the legislature captured, the civil society captured, the military, police captured. Then what are we looking for again? Everything has just been destroyed, all because of one man's ambition.
Barrister,
and you think it will change all over?
Barrister, the three arms of government, must they be at war for us to have democracy?
Oh my God! If there is checks and balances, Mr. Okoro, we will not be where we are.
But must they be at war?
Not war. No, checks and balances. That was why those who created the democracy, that was why they created the three arms of government, for checks and balances. When the executive is becoming too arrogant, and uncontrollable, the National Assembly will step in. In America today, there is a government shutdown because the opposition didn't want to agree with Donald Trump. That is how it's supposed to be done. But here, can such a thing happen?
It does. We have seen the National Assembly step down bills presented by the executive.
Which bill?
And we have seen the courts too say, look, federal government, you were wrong on this.
Look, which bill? Which federal government? What is the bill? All those things are minor issues. We are talking of serious issues, like this state of emergency. Should the National Assembly allow it, Mr. Okoro? We are talking of important issues.
Maybe Barrister, they found reason to allow it.
Oh, no, is that what?
Maybe they found good reason to allow it.
Oh my God, which reason? Which reason? As long as the Constitution is concerned, there is no reason at all. You act with it, because when you were being sworn in as the president, you were holding that constitution that you protect it, Abi.
I know you're speaking as a lawyer, but there are other lawyers too who said that the president was
Let them come and meet me here.
Oh, you go and meet them in court.
No, they should come here. Let them come and tell me their origin. Because you have not know that those people were compromised. You are speaking from both sides of their mouth. No reasonable lawyer will tell you that that state of emergency is justified. No reasonable lawyer. I stand to be correct. No reasonable lawyer. State of emergency where there was no problem. And you are telling me it's justified. It's a lie. Because we allowed it to go. That is why this man has continued to do other things. That's one of the things that we must rise up and say, no, this is no longer democracy.